Network Entertainment.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Kaya Pa Ba with Baos Rufo. Ang aking guest for today ay very sikat. Sikat na sikat. Like worldwide famous, internet famous. But this person, she has grown to be like a soul sister of mine the past few years, having worked on many projects. And I just love her to bits. I cannot wait for you guys to see another side of this amazing creature. Please welcome from Drag Race Philippines and Drag Race Global All-Stars, the one and only Eva La Queen.
Hello! Hi, guys. Thank you for having me, sis.
Correct. So, ito na sa wakas. Andito ka na sa podcast. Oo. Oo, baklaan lang tayo dito.
Correct.
Kasi alam mo naman na pag tayo nag-uusap, medyo ang lalalim na ng mga napupuntahan natin.
Oo. I think talagang yung age grab kasi natin.
Correct.
Like,
Yung age talaga.
Yung mga queens kasi nakapaligid sa atin, di ba? Sila Mix, sila Marina.
Correct.
They're significantly younger than us.
They are.
Kaya pag tayong dalawa yung magkasama, medyo
Correct.
iba talaga yung tono ng usapan.
Correct. Example lang po kung anong klase ng conversation sa pinag-uusapan namin. Roommates kami ni Eva sa La Union nung birthday ni Marina.
Yes.
Out of nowhere, siguro
Yes.
medyo lasing na siya. Ako inaantok na. Ang random ng question ni Eva na parang, sis, anong pakiramdam na may inuwi ang partner? At the end of a very productive day. So
Totoo.
parang ako, syempre patulog na ako na parang, shit, magto-talk show pa kami. And then we ended up talking for like another hour or two.
Oo.
Right? So that is the kind of friendship and parang depth that we have. But of course, we'll get to that. But I'll also talk about the drag race journey and all that.
Yes.
So I guess ang una kong tanong is, right now people know you to have a very strong brand in terms of drag, artistry, the way you do your business. Was deciding on a brand something na pinili mo na agad i-apply sa drag mo? Nagsisimula ka pa lang 2018, 2016, yeah?
Yeah, I started 2017. Actually, August 24, 2016. Tama.
Yeah.
Actually, parang alam mo, aksidente lang din yung brand eh. You know, ako kasi siguro I took up marketing kasi in Singapore Polytechnic. So, I understand that when it comes to, at the end of the day, like we love to do drag, pero once you turn it into something na gusto mong pagkakitaan, there needs to be like some structure to it. There needs to be something that people, kumbaga, when they hear your name and when they see your face in that poster, they know the kind of experience that they would expect.
Tama.
Alam mo yon. So parang from there, you can fit your drag into the needs of a client. Kasi ako, alam mo sis, sa Singapore, sabi ko sa'yo, nilalako ko talaga yung sarili ko.
Love it.
Para magkaroon ako ng show. Because I'm a Filipino, I'm an OFW there. Maraming drag queens.
Correct.
Meron ng scene. Of course, there are the Chinese queens, there's the Malay queens, and I'm a Filipino queen. And parang meron na talagang existing market. But what I understood is that these queens do not take it to the business level of like how you do it. Yung may-ari ng isang bar, alam mo, nag-match kami sa Tinder.
Ayan. Ganun pala sinasabi mo, taking it to the next level.
Taking it to the next level. Okay, you think I'm cute? So pumunta ako dun sa bar niya. And then I was like, so when will I get to that stage? And then the next thing I knew, nandun, nagpa-perform na ako. And then I pitched the idea, you know what? You should have a residency or something. Then parang, alam mo yon. And then I started. When it comes to, for me, it's not about brand. It's just really about knowing what you have to offer and being smart enough to fit into the needs of a client para meron ka pang racket.
Tama.
Ganyan.
Diba?
So, dumating sa point na talagang nagda-dress up ako ng Chinese sa labas ng restaurant para magtawag ng tao.
Laban!
Mga any form. Kasi at that time, wala naman drag race. I mean, drag race is not even in the cards yet. Parang, how do I make the most out of what I have to offer? And how do I mold my artistry into what my clients need? Parang maraming racket. Kaya ako sumikat.
Tama. Correct.
In less than a year, medyo may pangalan na ako sa Singapore. Yung TF ko, medyo kapareho na, ka-level na ng mga mas senior kesa sa akin. It's like, really, just finding that mukha talaga akong pera mula noon hanggang ngayon.
And thank God, mukha kang pera.
Ay,
Right?
nako, everybody earns. I mean,
Correct.
yun talaga. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way that you can elevate yourself or at least your drag is kung kaya mong paikutin yung pera mo within your... Kumbaga, meron akong drag fund. It's whatever I use to elevate my artistry comes from the very racket na nanggagaling doon.
She's a self-sustaining queen. Diba?
Tama.
That's a smart way to go about it. Right? You don't
Hindi ko
wanna-
pwedeng galawin yung savings ko,
Correct.
yung emergency funds ko just para makabili ng bagong human hair wig.
Correct.
You need to do this. And then doon mo lang din paikutin kasi at the end of the day, kapag elevated yung drag mo, tataas yung TF mo, dadami
Yeah.
din yung rackets.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that, early on, you knew how to zig when everybody was zagging.
Right.
Diba? And yes, you might have learned this sa Singapore in a school. But I think also as queer people, medyo built-in kasi sa atin yung tipong because we see a heteronormative society.
Correct.
Parang kita natin na everyone is zagging and what I'm doing unconsciously is zigging already, diba? Pero at a young age ba, sa pamilya mo, meron ng may ganitong parang diskarte or very, very sharp and very, very witty in a way?
Parang wala naman.
Uh-huh.
Kasi my mom and dad are public school teachers. They are simpletons. Like, napaka-simpleng tao ng nanay at tatay ko. Hindi ko alam kung saan nanggaling tong arting to. Like, parang hanggang ngayon, parang simple lang ng nanay at tatay ko. Madali pa rin silang mapasaya sa mga bagay-bagay, ganyan. Ako lang siguro talaga, ever since, siguro nung bata ako, I've always had a penchant for finer things in life.
Uh-huh.
I just want things a little fancier. I just want, alam ko na sa sarili ko na I just like
Yeah.
nicer things.
That's good.
Ganyan. Pero parang, this karte feeling ko, I don't know. I think it's just really, ganito ka hinubog na universe eh.
Uh-huh.
Like, even with everything that I've been through, I've always been the life of the party. Nung madapa-tapa ako, laging ako eh.
Yeah.
Alam mo yung-
makulit ka na talaga.
Oo, paandar.
Yeah.
Paandar na talaga ako nung burol ng lola ko. Alala ko, meron akong hawak na, ako lang yung kumakaway sa camera habang lahat sila malungkot. Kasi parang feeling ko, in my head, artista ako.
Alam mo, tama.
Ever since, di ba? Alam mo ng bata ako, pag pumupunta kami sa probinsya ng lola ko, meron kang main character syndrome. Main character talaga ako in my head na parang feeling ko, summer special ng buhay ko, kaya pupunta kami doon. And
May
then-
patay nito,
Oo,
May patay nito.
Oo, pag may patay, ganyan. Nakita ko yung mga pictures na talagang ako naka-wave akong ganun. Habang lahat ng mga kamag-anak ko malungkot. Tapos kumakanta daw ako dun sa ano ng lola ko. Tapos syempre, lalag-iyakan yung mga matatanda. Kasi hindi ko naman nagigets yung idea ng patay. Parang, kailan? Parang, mga ganyan. Tapos, every time maalis kami, feeling ko talaga artista ka sa sarili kong buhay. So maybe that being a main character, I think that's what...
It served you. Yeah.
Oo, yun yung inception ng personality ko
Correct.
ngayon. Na parang everywhere I go, I am the boss of my own. I strut to the beat of my own drum.
Yeah. May ganyan rin kwento sa akin yung tatay ko na I think merong isang children's party. I think I was probably 5 or 7. Tapos parang, I guess dahil downtime, kinuha ko daw yung mic, tapos inutusan ko daw yung mga bata how to behave. And na parang, nung kinwento niya sa akin nun, parang I was surprised but also not surprised at the same time because I think you also know how I run my ship.
Correct.
Talagang like, it's like that. And nakakatuwa when people kind of remind you of how you were like nung bata. Kaya na parang, in a way, you never also changed. Because now, ito ka pa rin, that leader, that paandar, that main character.
Oo. Parang actually, in retrospect, now that we talk about it, parang, nga no, gusto ko pala talaga mag-artista.
Yeah.
Bata pa lang ako. Parang feeling ko everywhere I go is like, nasa movie ako. Kasama ka ba sa mga batang nagsuot ng tuwalya?
Oo naman.
At ginawa siyang buhok. At so, yun, kapag tumibok ang puso sa harap ng salamin.
Ako naman yung tuwalya ginawa kong cape ni Storm. Tapos
Ay.
kunyari tumitirik yung mata ko. Diba? Minsan Storm, minsan may rabies. Diba?
Tama.
So, gano'n. Yung mga ganong paandar. And now,
Yeah.
we're still trying to just be as childlike as we can when we perform. Diba?
When I look for things that I would want to be grateful for, it's like this flamboyance that I used to hide when I was a kid. Kasi ever since flamboyant talaga ako. Tapos may mga tito, mayroon talagang mga people who don't understand you that will make you feel parang, ano ka ba, babakla-bakla kang ganyan. So, we live in a society where flamboyance for young boys are like dismissed as
Yeah.
something that you should not be doing.
Correct.
But guess what? This flamboyance is giving me everything
Yeah.
that I need. It's letting me live my best life.
Yeah.
It's the same flamboyance that allowed me to, get a new car.
Yes.
Dati akong OFW, but I make a hell lot more than I
Yeah.
used to do in my corporate
Yeah.
world. It's this very flamboyance that I used to hide when I was a kid that is really setting the foundation of the amazing life that I have.
Yes. Diba? The flamboyance was weaponized and now it's being monetized. Diba?
Yeah, very much.
Diba? Yon ang nangyayari now. And then of course, you did drag and the same flamboyance. And you talk about parang that was basically the experience of the younger version of you. And then you joined this global platform competition that is Drag Race wherein there is no such thing as too flamboyant.
Totoo.
Diba? Ayos, ang pinaka gusto ko malaman is you filmed Drag Race Philippines na binakla mo ng malali, natapos yung filming, you made it to Final Four, pero hindi pa alam ng mundo. Pero ano yung naging, parang how did you catch yourself talking to yourself during times that tipong, oh my God, I'm a finalist and the world doesn't know what is about to hit them in a few months. When you were the only one sitting on that secret, to use a Drag Race reference, parang kamusta yung atmosphere or yung state ng buhay mo nung mga panahon na yun?
Ay, ano talaga yun? Kasi una sa lahat, since pioneer batch naman talaga kami, season 1, we had no expectations. Really. It's like parang, okay, hindi nga namin alam kung panonoodin siya dito sa Pilipinas.
My point.
Parang ang alam din namin, parang, mga bakla lang yan. However, me, Marina, we have always like, we need to lay the groundwork. Sabi niya, parang kami, we have always prepared ourselves for something bigger. Na parang pinipitch na namin yung mga sarili namin sa mga, dahil alam namin that sooner or later, merong TV show that will feature us. Ako talaga business eh. So talagang sinimulan ko na yung Playhouse Drag and Dine. Meron na akong parang deck na mga drag and dine events. Super Sam sa mga gantong events. Alam ko na magkakaroon ng viewing parties. So parang okay, dapat ready tayo. Dapat meron yung social media team ko, ganyan. Kumbaga, kasi nga, there's nothing to expect eh. However, nag-invest ka ng malaki dun sa Drag Race Philippines Season 1, hindi pwedeng walang balik yan. So, dapat paghandaan ko na paano ko ilalako yung sarili ko. And, at that time, I already have Playhouse. So, parang in my head, it's like, how do I make the most out of Playhouse as an events production team? How do I make more events, more shows, more using whatever Drag Race? And, kumbaga, parang, mag-hit man o hindi, okay lang ako. I'll be fine. I would still be able to live a life outside of the clubs. So parang puro ganun yung nasa isip ko noon. Hindi kasi wala ka namang president eh. Hindi mo alam kung sisikat ba kami o hindi. Ang alam ko lang is paano ko 'to pagkakakitaan.
And then nakita nating sumikat kayo ng malali. Sumabog siya.
Totoo.
I guess, every week, it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the franchise has already had like 3 seasons now sa Philippines.
Yes.
Pero iba it will never have that big pagsabog moment the way season 1 had. It was just really a cultural phenomenon.
Totoo.
When you were living it like week by week, it must have been your dreams coming true every week.
Oo. Of course, at that time, parang kasi especially me, galing ako sa Nectar. And, in the club scene, essentially, you're sized up by the people based on your performative value. So, depende yan kung magaling kang mag-split, ganito, magaling kang mag-lip sync, ganyan. Ako, I was never that type. I have always been the kooky, slightly political, more, in fact, it's like parang, I would go as far as saying that I'm not everyone's favorite. In the club scene, parang yung performance ko, parang yun yung Yossi break nila. Kasi parang ganun siya.
Okay.
Parang kasi walang magsa-split, walang nakakatawa, walang lalabas. Kumaga parang it's I felt it. And
Okay.
the tips will always be the ultimate ano yan eh. Depende, kasi di ba sa sa Nectar, yung tips na inabot sa'yo sa stage, sa'yo yon. Pero at the end of the day, kapag umikot na kayo, centralized na kasi siya eh. So for me, ang gauge mo kung nagustuhan ng tao is depende talaga sa tips na pumasok sa'yo. So, I rarely get tips when I'm on stage. So parang my drag isn't exactly everyone's favorite. And that's fine. And that's cool. Because in fairness naman sa akin, I came from, medyo nakakaangat-angat naman ako sa laylayan eh. Kumbaga, at that time when some of my sisters at Nectar do drag because they need to put food on the table, I do it because of purely as an artistic expression. So I wanted to, because I always have a corporate job to go back to if I want to. So, ganon. So parang, I didn't expect much from my artistry. Tapos, Drag Race happened. Diyos ko, at that time, fresh from pandemic pa yan, means kahit naka-hoodie ako, naka-mask sa grocery, merong sisigaw ng pangalan mo.
Tampalpuke.
Ganyan. Like, everywhere I go. Tsaka sobrang yung passion ng tao. Hindi sila parang nakita lang ng influencer na parang ito is like, they will tell you stories.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, that time naalala ko, pag pupunta na kami sa bar, para lang pumunta sa banyo, there will be like 20 small talks on your way there. Plus, parang
Grabe.
the experience was like, ano siya, from a 1 to 99 talaga yung jump.
And also to also fan the flame pa. I just want to talk to you about Tampalpuke because I remember I saw Snatch Game kasi 1 week in advance because I was doing content for HBO and I think I remember messaging you, sis, yung Tampalpuke sa kasinigang sa mani, it is gonna go crazy in a few days and then it did. And when I saw that the first time, the stroke of genius because you also laid the groundwork for how the franchise is going to be. Parang because of yung ginawa nyo ni Marina and like the other cast, napakita na parang it's Snatch Game pero Pinoy na Pinoy, in all because you were just the most unapologetic version of yourself.
Yes.
As in, grabe talaga
Thank
yon.
you.
Malalang. And you know, you took that to the bank, di ba?
Oo.
Tampalpuke shirts, lahat ginawa Tampalpuke.
Yes.
Di ba? So talagang maraming salamat at binigyan mo ng pag-asa ang buong kabaklaan na pwedeng nakakatawa, pwedeng camp, and pwedeng all that. But I also loved what you mentioned kanina na your relationship with drag before Drag Race was not so much a livelihood or
Right.
something that puts food on the table.
Correct.
I think that's a very interesting way to look at your relationship with your creativity because you don't burden it with paying for the bills.
Yes.
'Di ba? Ano pa yung mga valuable lessons na naturo nung choice na yon now that you are doing it full time? Do you still look at it that way? Has it changed? Because now it is definitely a product na. And it
Yes.
pays for the bills and the lifestyle, 'di ba? How is your relationship with that vein that you had before?
Ngayon, iba na siya talaga. A little backtrack lang. So, I lived, studied, worked in Singapore for 8 years. Umuwi ako sa Pilipinas back in 2019. I just really want to start over. You know, parang, simula nung 18 ako, nagtatrabaho na ako eh. And at that time, I was already 30 and I was like burned out for a reason that I don't understand. So, parang feeling ko, baka nga kailangan ko lang ng break. But in my head, I would still go back to the corporate world. So parang 2019 was the stage in my life where parang I will do whatever I want. Pumapasok ako sa MAC Cosmetics. Sa Restance, dyan sa Shangri-La. I don't get paid. I get paid by products.
Okay.
And then I wanted to do makeup. I do bridal makeup for like really, really cheap. Because yun yung time ko to explore ano lang ba yung gusto kong gawin. And then I took drag sa Nectar. So, nagpa-perform ako ng drag sa Nectar for just like, girl, 500 pesos per number.
For the love talaga yun.
Oo. Ang grab ko, 600.
For the love and for the deficit. Oo.
Ang lipstick ko, 1,200. Tapos, 2 numbers ko. Sige, 1,000.
Oh,
Ganyan.
still,
Go. Ganyan. Buti lang may jowa ko na naghatid-hatid sa akin kahit paano. Alam mo yan, ginagawa ko lang talaga siya to find myself. You know, to give back to myself. When you work kasi, or when I think I had like some sort of a quarter life crisis, you know, when you attach yourself to the work that you do, to the dreams, to the car, to the house, or whatever future, you kind of lose yourself along the process. Eh. Or for me, at that time, imagine, I was hustling so much. I worked 9 to 5 morning, and then ang klase ko sa hapon is like from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Tapos, pagdating ng weekends, mag-show pa ako. I was hustling so much in my last 3 years in Singapore that I lost myself. I didn't know what to do.
Burnout ito.
Oo, burnout siya. So, bumalik ako. When I started drag in Nectar, when I did drag in Nectar, talagang ano lang siya, a means to give back to myself lang.
Ganda.
And then, pandemic happened. And then sabi ko, ay, siguro, at that time, parang, wala eh. Gusto ko mong bumalik sa corporate world. Ang daming nawalan ng trabaho. The only thing that I have are my wigs and my makeup. And that's when I founded Playhouse. We started doing Zoom parties. We started the concept of virtual performances on Facebook. Kasi nag-Facebook live kami to do shows, and then may magbibigay ng GCash, PayPal, ganyan. From not just sa Pilipinas, kasi ang reach mo doon, all over the world. May mga, actually sila yung bumuhay sa amin, yung mga OFW sa mga Becky, ganyan. So sila yung bumuhay sa amin. So parang doon na buo yung Playhouse. Me, Marina, Prince, and OV. And then parang, okay. So kahit paano nakabayad naman kami ng bills. And then, sabi ko, babalik na ako sa siguro dapat bumalik na ako sa corporate world. Actually, yun. Nung babalik na ako sa corporate world, bigla namang nag-announce tong si Mother RuPaul na mayroon ng Drag Race.
Mabuhay!
Yes! From the Philippines. Like, oh my God!
I remember
that was August 17.
Grabe.
Parang, grabe. So parang, every time I try to walk away from drag, something always pulls me back.
Nilabutan ako dun.
Alam mo yung time na parang sabi ko, babalik na ako sa corporate world, nagsara yung mundo. You're only left with wigs. Okay, do drag. Okay na, mag-open na yung mundo. Tumawag si Mother Ru. Alam mo yun, every time I try to walk away from drag, lagi niya akong binabalik dun eh. And now, I think my edge then is that I have lived a full adult life, a full life at 30 before the opportunities in drag came along. So with my full experience as a human being, as an individual outside of my artistry, plus the craft that I do, talagang I am a queen of my own. Talagang walang ibang drag queen that will be similar to me simply because yung mga pinagdaanan ko sa buhay. Iba. Closest one is probably Tita Baby.
Yeah, pero
iba din kasi talaga siya, di ba? So, ganun siya for me. Kaya nagbago na rin siya talaga kasi from doing it as a means to give back to myself, now I'm doing it full-time, still as a means to give back to myself and the community. Kasi nga, I firmly believe that the universe has put me into this path because it is my supreme destiny to be the trailblazer and really apply everything that I've known mula nung 18 pa ako up to now.
Nung nag-show ka sa Burol.
Nag-show ako sa Burol. Diba? Kung ano-ano. To like really set the foundation and like now I'm aiming to heal not just myself but the community, the Filipino drag community na.
That's a great point. Only because like the podcast has a lot of people sa corporate who are trying to pursue like a creative career or like trying to do a career shift. It is very important to be clear with what your soul wants first.
Yes.
Diba? It is very important. And I think for people who want to nurture their artistic side, kailangan mo munang pakuluan yun eh. Bago mo ihain. Diba?
And talagang alam mo, malalaman mo lang siya. I mean, naalala ko noon when I used to work for corporate, meron lang ako nararamdaman na parang emptiness na hindi mo siya ma-pinpoint. But I'm happy that I didn't give up at that point in time. Alam mo yon, parang let things unfold right in front of you. The only thing that is expected of you is to do your very best with what's in front of you.
Yeah. Ang ganda ng term mo, emptiness. Because I think when you feel that emptiness, I think it's very important for you to not judge it. Kasi everybody goes through periods of sadness and helplessness and feeling like they should be doing something more meaningful or something bigger. I think it's very important that you not judge it and really use that to put forth something you know is just a piece of good in this world. And that's what your drag did. Ang ganda nung sinabi mo na nagkaroon ka lang ng parang you wanted to get to know yourself again. You did drag to just find yourself again because that, I think, whether nasa drag ka or hindi, everybody deserves to go through that of being temporarily lost. Because once you find your direction, mas i-embrace mo lalo na, eto ang landas ko.
Totoo. Tsaka parang lalo na ngayon, na-bombarded tayo ng mga tao who seem to have figured everything out and just followed their passion. In my case, hindi naman ako nag-jump ship agad eh. What I did is that, like I said, I was hustling. Nagtatrabaho ako in a corporate job, pero I also want to further my education and at the same time give back to my passion. Sinabay-sabay ko sila. Pero kasi the idea is, you don't have to choose just one.
And as queer people, parang feeling ko, that's a great blessing because we have less like heteronormative programming to go with.
All right. Welcome to the Halo Halo Show. We're on a quest to save Manila traffic from boredom.
Quest? What are you, Frodo?
I'm trying to tell them about our podcast. On a quest to save Manila traffic from boredom.
Yeah, I'm bored.
Can you do better?
Okay. Welcome to the most awesome podcast in the whole universe.
Maybe not the universe.
Listen to the Halo Halo Show, where we talk about what's trending in the Philippines, among other things.
And we talk about our lives, make fun of each other, and we really will save you from boredom.
Yeah, it's our quest! Grab your swords! And your headphones.
Listen to the Halo Halo Show.
Stream it on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Ako parang pinagsabay-sabay ko siya, then tsaka ako nagkaroon ng complete shift towards drag. Pero I wouldn't have known that if hindi ko muna siya sinabay with my work, with my education, and my drag. Parang kaya mo siyang pagsabay-sabayan. You don't have to choose only one at
Correct.
the same.
Yeah. I think the way to also look at that hustle and grind is that it's positive stress. 'Di ba? Like, yes, napupuyat ka and like nababaliw kasi na pagod ka. But kailangan mo rin pagkatiwalaan yung instincts mo na yung mga pinapursue mo naman, wala ka naman tinatapakang tao, sumasaya ka naman with every task. So I think you need to look at that as positive stress to be a diamond. Diba?
And not pursuing it is also a stress on its own.
Exactly.
You,
Yes.
you will always think of what could have been.
Yeah.
Ako, feeling ko sa buhay ko talaga, if there's one thing that I fear the most, it's the fear of regret.
Yeah.
It's that fear of like, what would have been kung ginawa ko to? And then, help yourself out a little. Then just do it.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah. Grabe. So sabi ko sa inyo guys, malalim pag kami nag-uusap hindi ba? And then so that was Drag Race Philippines. And then let's talk about Global All-Stars.
Yes.
I have been a member of your team
Yes.
in your preparation for Global All-Stars. It was the best of times. It was also the
Right.
worst of times. Now let's talk about the best of times first. When you try to remember the good that came out of Global All-Stars, ano siya specifically?
Ako, I would say the person that I became after the defeat. You know, it's like, syempre, from Drag Race Philippines Season 1, finalist ako eh. Even if I didn't win, oh my God, the second best scenario was there. I had nothing to lose. I didn't know how it felt like.
Correct.
Kumbaga, alam mo yon. And then on top of that, I was on a cloud nine. Parang everything is like, you feel na parang the world is your oyster. Parang you can do anything. Like the world is at your
Yeah,
grasp.
strong start, di ba?
Right.
So yeah.
And then you will be met with a reality that, so, you know, that is not always the case. Pero the thing is, sa global kasi, I really left no stones unturned. Imagine, nag-singing lessons ako kay Teacher Sweet. We had our like very intense training on improv.
Yeah.
Ay, oh my God, Mr. Rest in Peace, I love you. See, I did sewing lessons. I did dance, movement, improv lessons with Joe Abuda. I was able to like really take my drag to the next level. Like talagang, it's the full evolution of Eva. I imagine like the amount of money spent on my runway alone. It's a lot of money. Like, oo nga no, ito pala yung magiging itsura mo if you don't care about money. I mean, there are so many experiences that I have experienced through Global All-Stars. And yet, how do you face it kung yung ROI isn't as expected as you did? Kumbaga parang, it was very difficult. It was very difficult. Imagine, sis, I came back from the taping really feeling like a damaged good. And yet, nung announcement siya, it's like people expected me to be excited about it. But
Na
I
hindi
can't.
ka pa tapos mag-process that
Oo,
time.
na parang, I'm still grieving. Tapos gusto niya maging excited na ako, and that anxiety and everything. And then in retrospect, the best part of Global All-Stars happened this year when it all started to make sense. You know, you don't get to realize the best part of it as it happened, lalo na for something that's masakit or a disappointment or any traumatic experience in your life. Hindi mo marirealize that there's a gem in it. Eh. All you just remember is the pain. Especially for us reality TV stars. You only see the competition based on paano siya nag-play sa utak mo at that. You only see just this piece of the puzzle and you will hold on to it as if it's the fact. As if it's the ultimate, as if it's absolute. But then, nung napanood ko naman yung sarili ko sa Global All-Stars, realize ko na parang, oh, I was amazing.
Yeah.
The talent show, oh my God, that best drag, yes. I don't know kung premeditated na yung stay ko doon or whatnot, pero for as far as I'm concerned, for every single episode that I was there, I made the most of whatever airtime I had. I slayed it.
Yeah, you did.
And it took me time to believe it. At that time, even if it aired out, I still remember the pain. Pero kahit na maganda siya sa paningin ko, naaalala ko pa rin yung pain, so hindi ako naniniwala.
Yes. Wow.
So until I was able to like give myself enough time to heal and space out, that I realized that parang the greatest gift of Global All-Star is for me to choose myself every time.
Ooh.
Because of Global All-Stars, it taught me na Eva Lee Queen, wala ka nang kailangang patunayan. In fact, from the very beginning, wala kang kailangang patunayan. Na you are your own queen. Magaling ka, matalino ka, maganda ka. You don't need any validation. Hindi mo kailangan masabihan ng anything for you to believe it. In fact, I will go as far as saying na parang, hindi mo nga kailangan sumali sa drag race to believe that. It took me time.
Yeah.
So now I am in this very scary position kasi feeling ko talaga, I can do anything. Like,
that's what it's about,
oh,
right?
oh. What I thought was my biggest disappointment being an early out in Global All-Stars actually set me free to become the greatest version of what I could have been. And now I'm unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's like, what else? Okay, early out ka. Okay, and then?
Yeah.
But, okay, basically, talaga? And then, so parang there is nothing. Wala nang masasabi sa akin ng mga tao. Or even for me, to myself, I was able to like, kahit ako sarili kong saboteur, it's like, girl, that is so last year.
It's such a ballsy move then kasi parang you would think na, you know, the usual, the go-to instinct would be, okay, it's a 5-episode run, then let's make the most out of it immediately. But no, what you did was, no, I'm gonna take time. I'm gonna need some space first to heal. And now, it got you to say, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Oo.
So you would think na parang yung scarcity mindset, hindi, baka maubusan ng racket and I need to do these appearances. But you're living your best case scenario.
Yeah. Pero at that time, as it was happening, sister, wala. I couldn't even think of anything. I would say na parang it was really, it was rock bottom for me. Kasi parang, okay, galing akong finalist Tapos biglang, So parang, ano mo kaya harap ko? But then what I also realized is that, no, walang bababa ang tingin sa'yo other than yourself. Ikaw lang ang nag-iisip sa sarili mo ng ganyan. No, because the lowest you'll ever be is wherever you are right now. Wala. Wala namang nawala ng respeto sa'yo dahil wala. Ikaw lang ang nag-iisip sa sarili mo niyan.
Dumami pa nga yung pera mo. Diba? I mean, kung signal at signal lang, diba? Dumami pa nga yung pera mo Diba?
Oh. Pero parang, nga.
Yeah.
Oh, ngayon kaya kong magsasayaw ako kung kailan ko gusto magsayaw.
Correct.
But kaya ko pa rin magtayo-tayo. Alam mo yan, I became, I was so shattered, I was so damaged that I had no choice but to care for myself. And now, I have nursed myself back to the point na parang, yes, I am my own keeper. And parang, I am my own, kasi tama naman na you should be your own greatest critique. But it also comes with a responsibility to become your best friend, your number one cheerleader.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And the great thing is, it hasn't even been a year since Global was announced. I hope you also are proud of just how efficient your soul and instrument is. It's only been 9 months since it was announced, and you went through that period of going crazy. And I'm so proud of you.
Because you guys are also there. I mean, I couldn't have done it myself. I mean, there are lots of people who nursed me back. Of course, John right here is here. My Playhouse team, Camp Summers, you, everyone. Oh my God, there are people who like help me get back on my feet. And although it was as unfortunate as it is, pero yun nga, it was a necessary evil. And one of the greatest blessings then of Global All Stars is for me to let go of the need to rely on Drag Race to make a name for myself.
Yeah. Which is really, for me, yun yung parang ang sarap panoorin, especially you entering your empire, your CEO era. Because di parang you have laid the groundwork for drag after Drag Race, but at the same time, you continue to rewrite the playbook in terms of how it is going to be consumed and respected.
Tama.
Diba? Because you have like Playhouse right now, its reputation as an events company with the roasts and other really curated drag experiences. Talagang people now expect like a really certain level of quality when it comes to Playhouse events. And you did that because you decided to just choose you and do whatever you want because there's nothing to prove anymore.
Yeah, and it's not na wala kang utang na loob sa Drag Race ha. I mean, the real challenge, actually, di ba sinabi rin yun ni Willem it's like parang after Drag Race, the real race is parang what you make of yourself because of it. Pero hindi siya dapat yung ultimate sandalan ng self-worth mo. Diba? And to all the girls that will be joining Drag Race All Stars or gonna do the gig the second time, it's really different meron ka ng ego na nabuo prior to joining Drag Race, and then ipupusta mo yun based sa yung placement mo, paano ka na naman ipa-perceive ng tao. But, being the second person to do it the second time from the original franchise, it's really, how do you make the most out of the opportunities that you were given? But not entirely to rely your self-worth on it.
And what I'm hearing right now, or what I'm feeling, is that you're very centered right now. You are definitely, one with how the universe wants you to use your instrument to its highest good. How do you maintain this balance these days? Because I find myself na, the older you get, parang mas grabe rin yung OPEX mo para lang you're able to execute properly and be reliable. So ngayon, as a CEO, as someone building an empire, and as someone who continues to be at the bleeding edge of how drag is consumed these days, how do you stay balanced?
This will sound cheesy, pero I would say gratitude talaga. The practice of gratitude. All the experience that we do, all the things that we say, the thoughts that form in your head, these are energies. And you will realize eventually, after you've been through a lot of self-loathing and a lot of so many traumatic experiences, that you are the keeper of your own energy. You are the keeper of your own thoughts. You are the keeper of your own words, of your own actions, of your destiny ultimately. So the gratitude is very important kasi it sets everything into perspective.
Yeah.
In my life, what I realize is madaling magpasalamat sa mga bagay that goes right. Of course, you have a nice experience, you have a nice bank account, parang yes. But the real measure of how strong you have been mentally is, kaya mo bang magpasalamat sa mga bagay na nakasakit sa'yo?
Ang ganda nun. Yeah.
Diba? So, gratitude is like a muscle. You really need to practice it. Malaki, maliit na bagay, masakit, or you have to be grateful in everything. So notice how we don't say that I am grateful for everything. You are grateful in everything. Mabuti siya or hindi. I've talked about this because Kiana was talking about problems, and I was like, may mga kaibigan na, may mga problema ako na parang pinagpasalamat ko na dumating. And that will give you kasi, that will be your compass kasi. I mean, in retrospect, pag tinignan mo, ako, I'm a very self-aware person. Kaya tinitignan ko yung mga bagay-bagay. It all makes sense. So parang probably, if there is an advice I would say is like, first is like gratitude. Second is faith. It's like, you really have to have faith that things are always going
To work out.
If you're expecting things, if you're blackmailing God into to your prayers sound like a gaslighting, blackmailing kay God, then it doesn't work that way. Faith is like believing that things would happen even if they're not in front of you. So, in retrospect, pag pinagsama mo yung gratitude and faith, you will always find that center. I always have bad days. There will always be bad days.
In fact, there will be more bad days.
There will be more bad
Yeah.
days. Pero sabi nga ni Oprah, what you really want in life is that sweetness in your life.
Yeah.
It's so sweet that even when the bad days come, you know that this too shall pass.
Yeah.
So I have, because of my constant practice of faith and gratitude, I'm able to keep myself centered that yes, this will be bad now, but I've been through worse. And whenever I think about it, the question is, kailan ba ako napabayaan? Never.
Yeah.
I'm still here. And yeah, so I think that's what keeps me centered.
Ang ganda nung term na sweetness, no? Because yun yung nagiging gift ng perspective eh.
Yes.
Yung tipong pag nag-make sense na, kaya pala ako nilagay sa putikan. Tas now parang, thank God. Diba? May ganun talaga siya eh.
It's not about the perfection na everything goes your way.
Yeah.
It's about when things don't go your way and then in retrospect na realize mo na buti na lang nangyari ka. Yun yung sweetness nun eh. Na parang buti na lang nangyari.
So, keep the faith. Diba?
And be grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple in concept pero hindi siya madali.
Yeah, correct. Mas mahirap siyang i-practice, definitely. And I love it, this is basically the Eva that we love. The perspective, the wisdom, but it's also tender and soft, and that's why we love you.
Thank
I think
you.
this is also something that people see now with your latest project, which is basically yung Evangelism podcast.
Yes!
Diba? I know you have already filmed so many episodes. Alam ko yung calendar yan. Ang dami yun ang film. Diba? But because basically we're both podcast hosts, how does this, ano mga natututunan mo as as an artist, as a queer person, with your guests really like opening up their soul? May mga iyakan, may mga tawanan. How is this parang podcast host era like?
I love it. I just love it. Alam mo yun, yung parang when we started it, again, ang alam ko lang is like parang this podcast is gonna be like parang kwentuhan na magkakaibigan. That's why it's shot in my very own living room, talagang in the comfort of my sofa. Tapos gusto ko yung mga guests ko are out of drag because we want to show them the human behind the fantasy, and we want to have conversations that they otherwise would not have the comfort to open up elsewhere, or probably they didn't have the means to like navigate those kinds of conversations. Ganyan. Or they would feel safe to open up. Ako, I feel honored and like sobrang grateful ako na sa akin nila ino-open yung mga ganung bagay. That they find that my sisters find comfort in laying themselves vulnerable and trust me enough that their stories will not be taken advantage of. But it will be, with my questioning, it's always very intentional to bring out the best in the stories that they're trying to say and always give them a redemption.
Ganda.
Through their own words. Hindi natin ito-tweak yan. Walang script. Wala. Buga lang yan. Ganyan. And I love it kasi it felt right. For the longest time as a drag queen, as an artist, I know that I'm prettier than most. Like maganda talaga yung makeup ko. I know that I can dress up nicely, ganyan. But it took me a time na na-realize ko na when I hold the mic, this is my Super Bowl. When I hold the mic, I am the Beyonce of Philippine drag. Na parang, when I open my mouth, this is what I'm really good at.
Yeah.
Diba? In drag or out of drag, I like how I articulate words. Because I love words. Bata pa lang ako, mahilig na ako magbasa. I love the idea na merong lexicon, merong to translate a concept, a thought in the soul, in the head that can be brought out into the world and be perceived by another sentient being. Yung ano na yun, transfer na yun, I've always been fascinated by the concept of communication and articulation. Kaya naniniwala talaga ako na, ito pala, feeling ko ito talaga yung gift ko. And now I was able to find the right platform to do it. I was able to start it in the community that's very close to my heart, with the people that I respect so much, that I'm able to give drag queens an opportunity to be known deeper, more than just beyond the wigs, beyond the makeup, beyond the
Memes.
memes, beyond the reality TV show, beyond the tweets, beyond everything. They were able to be seen by people, and I was an instrument of that.
And I'm sure you have experienced this, but when you do a podcast and when somebody like bears their soul, it's an incredibly spiritual experience. Diba? Do you find yourself healing parts pa of yourself when people share like the things they go through?
Of course. I feel na every time someone sits in my chair, our souls are intertwined. That I feel their pain. And it is kumbaga parang we are in a boat ride. They are the sails, tas ako yung may sagwan. Parang it's a two-way relationship. It's a two-way exchange of energy. Hindi ka nandito para patunayan mo na mas magaling kang magsalita. Hindi ka nandito para i-exploit mo yung story niya para maganda, maraming views. You're here to reach a common endpoint to where you want the conversation to go. That's what podcasting is. And yeah, as you said, it's spiritual. Kasi ano naman yun body language lang, tono lang ng boses. I take pride na unscripted yun. Walang ano yan. Walang agenda yan. It's like, we're talking, you wanna go there? Okay, let's go there.
Yeah.
And it's my job to make sure that they feel safe doing it.
It's very intimate, but it's also parang ma-reveal sa'yo the different universal emotions that we all share. Like, kunyari, I've had guests here na parang lahat sila, parang katrabaho, nag-OT, question nila yung existence nila. Bakit ko ginagawa to? Is there something better for me out there? Diba? Kaya nga ang pangalan ng show ay Kaya Pa Ba? Pero like, ano yung mga namamain mo pa na parang, I didn't know we had that in common with the podcast guests that you've had.
There are some guests that I had like total opposites of like our take on a certain topic. Like say for example, Pura Luca Vega. We had that discussion about what happened. Kasi ako sinabi ko talaga, parang I didn't like it, sis. It's like, why? But what that opened up is that it really takes conversation na walang judgment for you to really come up with an understanding of each other. I didn't have to to compromise my values or principles, but I hear you. And yes, you make sense.
But I also make sense. But we also, you agree to disagree, but also there's even more respect after the conversation, right?
Totoo. It's like, hindi mo naman kailangan mamili kung A or B But what that conversation did is that if conversations are more open like this, then we will have a happier relationship, not just with the person we are talking to, but with ourselves.
There will literally be world peace kung ganun ang...
Totoo. Kasi it also parang for my own truths to be like, ilagay ko siya sa stand na parang, wala pala talagang absolute. Wala pala talagang, you can view 6, I can view 9. It's that kind of thing. Two things can be true at the same time. Na parang that opens them up, opens the audience up, and also opens you up. And I think that's why communication and articulation and conversations like these are important. That's why there's podcasts in the first place.
Yeah. And I'm sure your audience, they are also loving this particular flavor of a talk show of Eva Le Queen. Ano naman yung nakita mong na-hit mo na nerve with the audience in terms of like, I didn't know they were searching or they were hungry for something like this?
Kasi ang ganda ng mga feedback Ang ganda ng comments ng evangelism. And initially, iniisip ko, ang haba ng isang oras. Isang oras mahigit yung mga podcasts. I was like, do people even listen to this? Do they have time to listen to this? And then you would see them na parang, if the conversation pala is like really relatable, it's authentic, and it's really good, people would stay. Na sa akin na parang, so people want to know what we have to say as drag queens. Normally, people will be interested in drag queens kung paano sila mag-lip sync, anong wig niya, anong look niya ngayon, anong makeup fears. But for them to be actually interested in an hour podcast to listen to what we have to say, our thoughts, our vulnerabilities, our own stories. So parang, talagang nag-iba na rin yung landscape ng fandom, ng appreciation when it comes to drag.
We are never in short supply of, softness from the world.
Totoo,
diba? So the
totoo.
podcast giving that, it's just, the world's about to end. So, tender moments, soft moments.
Actually, malapit na.
Diba?
Ano na
Like,
lang.
we need that. So, thank you for what you do and
Thank
the
you.
podcast. And I always try to wrap up an episode with like an acting challenge or like drag race moment.
May acting challenge!
I guess ang gusto kong malaman is yung Eva na bumalik sa Pilipinas noong 2019 para hanapin yung sarili niya. Ano yung message mo sa Eva na yon as the Eva today?
Yung Eva na yun kasi, kumbaga, ang description ng buhay niya is like everything came crashing down. Imagine 8 years of your life in Singapore. Everything that you've built, from your education to mga naipundar mo sa buhay, you walked away from it. You walked away. Ang line na sinabi niya noon is like, I'm walking away from the life that I've lived for a life that is worth living. Ang advice ko sa kanya is like, tama ka. Tama yan. You are in the right track, baby. You were born this way. It's like, tama yung decision mong yan. Umalis ka na dyan. Tama yan. Like, you don't know there are days that you don't want to wake up anymore. It's like, bakit pa ako nagising dito? That's a sign. That's a catalyst for change. Trust yourself a little more. And I would say actually, wala na ako, lahat naman nasasabihin ko sa kanya, pero it would not make sense. Pero again, kailan ka ba napabayaan? The universe always has your back. So just go. Because the universe will conspire talaga to bring you to where you should be. And yeah. Tsaka alagaan mo yung clear skin mo yan. Clear skin ka pa nun eh. But you will live an amazing life. It's like, baby, you got this. Tama yan. Live everything one day at a time.
Ganda. Hi, the gift of time
Yes.
and perspective.
Yes, my God.
Yeah, maraming salamat, sis,
Thank you
for
so much,
joining me
sister.
sa pod.
Yes.
So, please tell the children where to find you and the podcast that is breaking a lot of records.
Yes, guys. Please don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. That's Eva_LeQueen, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, don't forget to follow the ELQ channel.
ELQ!
Kasi diba, yung ELQ, yung pangalan ng ELQ, diba usually ginagamit niya sa mga bosses na.
Very signatory yung ELQ.
Diba? CSC.
Correct.
ELQ.
MVP.
MVP.
Oh, correct.
So we want to, because I am, ganun naman talaga si Playhouse. I mean, Playhouse is already an SEC registered corporation. I am a president of the ELQ company. So talagang, follow the ELQ channel on YouTube. Of course, don't forget to follow the Playhouse then on Instagram for all our amazing events. Our amazing events.
I write a number of things that Eva does.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the major events, the Snatch Game, Roast, we will all be posting them on the Playhouse. And of course, evangelism episodes uploads every Thursday at the ELQ channel.
Pasabog. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sis.
you. So maraming salamat for joining us sa isa pang episode ng Kaya Pa Ba. Please don't forget to rate and review us on Spotify. We are also available on YouTube. Kaya Pa Ba Pod on Instagram. I am Baus Rufo on IG. And again, my Pride-themed comedy variety show with Isa Villaverde. June 8, Sunday, 5 p.m. Bawal Bating. Ang tickets ay available sa bio ng aking IG and TikTok. See you again when we drop the next episode of Kaya Pa Ba. Thanks, everyone. Bye!
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.